I think he's a bum. I think he's an absolute bum.
Good afternoon. You're listening to WQKE LP 93.9 FM out of Plattsburgh, New York. This is your top of the hour, 3 o'clock sports report with Desmond and Liam. Final one for spring break.
Yep.
We apologize to stop during that absolute banger of a song.
I don't. I was actually going to apologize for making people listen to that.
we don't decide the songs. We're just going to
Sadly.
put that out there. So we'll start as we usually do, twinning a tire. Desmond made the call today.
Yeah, NBA sweaters. I have my Allen Iverson one. It's like a picture of him getting drafted.
You can see mine. What's mine?
Liam has my Larry Johnson grandmama sweater that I think I both got these on Christmas a couple of years ago.
That's fire.
Yep.
I've seen you wear that one quite a bit.
Well,
we love AI.
both-
Yeah, the
both-
AI one.
Yeah, I wear both those all the time. They're so comfy. But all right. Well, getting to the NFL and
What a man.
what an interesting last couple of days.
Yeah, let's say after Monday's show, I didn't think what happened was going to happen, but everything happened extremely fast.
Yeah, I mean, we'll start with, I guess, what the most obvious one is that really kind of shocked everyone on Tuesday. Yep, Tuesday was the Russell Wilson trade, with Russell Wilson getting sent to the Denver Broncos along with a fourth-round pick for 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a fifth-round pick, Drew Lock, Noah Fant, and Shelby Harris. And the Seahawks are all apparently going full rebuild mode because they decided to cut Bobby Wagner, which cleared up $16 million.
I don't blame
in
them
cap
for that
space.
at all.
I mean, obviously Bobby Wagner is still a top linebacker in the game, but if you want
He's
to
definitely fallen off, though.
but he's still very good.
Yeah.
But it's just when you are in the situation you're in, you need cap space, and you're not with a contract like that. You're not going to be able to trade him without taking on another contract.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, it's better to just release him and let him go wherever he wants. But yeah, I mean, I'd say the Broncos are probably contenders now after that trade.
Yeah, Dan Orlovsky said Super Bowl, which I think is a little dramatic at this point. I agree with what you... Desmond put it perfectly earlier to me today that you can't really say anything until you
Until you play.
watch. Yeah, exactly.
Like people reacting to the trade, like you can't say anything about the trade until they play. Look at the Matthew Stafford trade, like
Yeah.
we were talking about. Everyone made fun of the Lions because, yeah, obviously Stafford is better than Jared Goff, but to give up 2 first-round picks and like a third for an aging quarterback that who knows how much better he at the time who knew how much better he'd be than Jared Goff. Obviously, it ended up working out, and that's why you can't be too quick to down a trade.
This one's a little weird, though, because, like, I don't want to say it, like, straight out bluntly. I haven't heard anyone say this yet. But, like, the Broncos' targets aren't, like, significantly better than the Seahawks' targets.
No, I mean,
But the Broncos are a lot better at the line.
team,
At
yeah.
the line and at defense. So I guess it just depends what you prioritize.
yeah, I mean, obviously, Cortland Sutton's very good, but he's not better than Tyler Lockett or
Yeah.
BK Metcalf. Jared Jeudy has a lot of potential and is still very solid. Then you guys like KJ Hamler, they could end up drafting someone. I can never pronounce their tight end's last name. So
Their backup tight end.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah, now he's a starter.
All right, here's my attempt to pronounce his name. Albert Okwuegbunam.
Nice.
Who was a rookie last year. I believe he was like a third-round pick.
Do you have his stats right there?
I can look them up very quickly. Hold on.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just like I love these trades. I love the blockbuster. It's the second year in a row we've had a quarterback change, but this one's not like I don't like the comparison to the Stafford trade because it's a completely different situation.
Yeah, he had 33 catches for 330 yards and 2 touchdowns, so not bad for being a
No,
rookie,
not terrible. Behind
late-round backup,
yeah, and
fourth-round pick.
yeah, exactly. And you're behind a starting tight end.
A very good starting tight end.
And I think that's the part of the deal that hurts most if you're a Broncos fan. The picks or whatever, that's worth it. But you lose a potential target there. But they must trust him.
Yeah, absolutely.
They must trust
Absolutely.
Mr. Albert.
But I don't know what the Broncos are going to do at the Broncos. Obviously, we know what the Broncos are going to do. The Seahawks are going to do at quarterback. Is right now, I'd assume the number one guy is Drew Lock. I mean, I think their only other quarterback on the roster right now is Geno Smith, but even then he got arrested for a DUI not that long ago. And I also don't know if the contract is expiring. But, I mean, you could draft someone. They have the 9th pick. In my opinion, I've said it before, I don't know if any of the quarterbacks are worth taking in the top 10. But
Yeah, I agree.
with their situation, they could. But if I'm them, if any of the top tackles, whether it's, I mean, the first 2 won't be, but if Evan Neal, Ekwonu, or Charles Cross, or even maybe even Trevor Penning. If any of those guys are available, I'd take them.
Yeah, but they're also defense, not to interrupt you, but their defense does need fortification either. So, like, it's kind of a win-win in their mind because they can pick any of those guys who are supposed to go in the top 10 and be fine.
Yeah, but
I agree with what you're saying.
If you take one of the young tackles in the draft top 10 and you compare him with Dwayne Brown, who is aging, and you can just run them until Dwayne Brown eventually leaves or retires, then you have a pretty solid tackle duo for the next at least couple of years to help your young quarterback, whether it's Drew Lock, whether it's someone they take later in the draft like a Desmond Ritter, or I don't know because this draft class in terms of quarterbacks is pretty bad, but there's a lot of things they could do, but yeah. I mean, do you have any more input before?
Yeah. Like I said, I love the blockbuster deals. I think this is kind of a win-win for both sides because picking up that 9th pick in such a deep class for not only linemen but defensive positions. Like I saw a mock today that had the Seahawks picking Thibodeau, which if things line up, it could happen.
I don't know if he's going to fall to 9. It's a big enough question mark as if he's going to fall to 5 to like the Giants. Let alone
I think
9.
he's going to fall to the Giants.
I think he might fall to the Giants. Do I want him? Yeah, but it really depends. Like Evan Neal's not going to be there. He's going 1 or he's going to the Jets. Ekwonu is another question mark because he could go 1 depending on where the Jags want to go. But obviously, I take Neal over Ekwonu as much as I'm high as I am on both. But to me, the ideal scenario for the Giants in the draft right now is, if they're going a little unrealistically, is Ekwonu at 5 and trade back and take Tyler Linderbaum. But right now it's looking like it's probably going to be Kayvon Thibodeau at 5 and then Charles Cross at 7, which I don't mind. I'm not as high on Cross as I am the other 2 guys, but I'll take him, I guess.
So, back to the trade, though, I do think this does put the Broncos as contenders, but their division is hard.
Yeah, I'd say.
However, the Raiders don't do anything for me. I don't think they're insane.
I mean, obviously they made the playoffs last year.
They barely made the playoffs.
They barely made
the playoffs. Clinched the last spot on a game-winning field goal. The Chargers,
Yeah, in which, I mean, if the Chargers coach is smart about it, they both could have been in the playoffs.
That was so stupid.
I will never forget that moment.
That was such a good moment, too. Because it would have made sense for them to tie in that situation. If anyone remembers this, they game tie, they both would have clinched.
Yeah, and
it would have made sense
because, to do that.
Yeah, because you don't have a turnover. You don't risk the liability of a turnover or something stupid happening. Whatever. It's past. The playoffs are over. And none of the teams would have won the Super Bowl. No. My problem with the Chargers, though, is they're kind of like the Bills. Just really a worse version of the Bills. They only can go as far as their quarterback can take them. They don't have any other facet of the game to rely on that can win them games. You know what I'm saying? The Chiefs' defense might be able to win you a game every so often, but Mahomes but for the Bills, there is nothing on that team that is going to win you a game except Josh Allen. Josh Allen needs to ball out.
The Chargers at least have playmakers on defense. They have Derwin James.
Yeah, but no offense, but who's going to win you games on the Chargers? It's
obviously I'm just
their
saying
defense is it's not that their defense is bad, but their defense is not good enough to just take over a game and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Allow 7 and Herbert doesn't have to do anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't think they're ever going to win the AFC West. Don't get me wrong, the Broncos, but they may make a very good push for that second spot. But there's a lot depending on what Russell Wilson they're getting. Keep in mind, before the injury, Russell Wilson was an MVP candidate last season, and he's been one for years. He kind of did carry them. What was that, 2019 or 2020 to a 12-4 record?
I do remember that.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but they weren't good enough to beat the Giants.
No, I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Colt McCoy. Never forget when Evan Ingram almost threw the game away, and I'll get into Evan Ingram in a little bit. But
do I think he's on that level? It's hard to tell because he had a really weird second half of the year where he did not look like Russ. But he
always has a second half of the year like that. That's why the Seahawks ended up going 12-4 and not way better than they could have been because they had a collapse towards the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean,
it's a good trade for both sides on paper.
Absolutely,
that's my thoughts.
Yeah,
how will it pan out? It is unbelievably hard to predict.
Yeah,
because there's so many factors. Russell Wilson, of course, and then the Broncos. You have to the Broncos did almost make a playoff spot last season. We're a playoff contender for most of the year with Drew Lock as quarterback.
Drew Lock and Teddy
Bridgewater.
Yeah.
That's like having Desmond as quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Let me flex.
Yeah.
I got
at that point, that's the exact opposite of the Chargers situation I was describing. That is your receivers and defense winning you games, not your quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, if you can win, if you bring in a strong quarterback, they're one of those teams that's a quarterback away.
Yeah.
But my step-uncle said this to me today, and it's such a good point. Being a quarterback away is, like, a very common misconception.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's why I didn't want the Giants to make the Russell Wilson trade, because that's a trade you make if you're a quarterback away.
Yeah.
The Giants are not a quarterback away. The Broncos, you could argue, are
a quarterback away.
Yeah.
And, like, I said it to you, too, as in my last thought. Sorry to keep going off here, but, like, if I had to rank if I was a quarterback right now, if I was Russell Wilson, if I had to pick 5 teams to go to, I think the Broncos would be the third one.
Yeah.
Because the only teams I think I'd rather go to are San Fran and Tampa.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other team I'd rather go to that needs a quarterback than Denver, because they do have a good situation.
No, absolutely. They're not only are they a young team, but like all their weapons are young. Javonte Williams had a very good rookie season. Surtain. I mean, back to offense, you have Cortland Sutton, who's I think is like 26, 27. Jerry Jeudy, who's very young. KJ Hamler, who's young. Albert. They had Noah Fant. Obviously, they don't anymore. They have a solid offensive line, way better than what the Seahawks ever offered Wilson. And then not to mention their defense, where you have Justin Simmons, who's great. Bradley Chubb, who has been dealing with health issues, but when he's healthy, is a tremendous player. Von Miller saying he could come back.
Von Miller, man.
But,
he's so weird.
Yeah, they're a very solid team. They could end up doing something crazy. We'll have to see.
I'm excited.
Me too.
But this is the like yesterday was like the weirdest day ever. Like it was just progressively getting more. Like the moves were getting progressively crazier and crazier throughout the whole day. Every time Desmond and I are in this one class, it's fun. If anyone's a communication major, it's fundamentals of electronic media. Something crazy happens.
Yeah,
every single time.
Yeah, last week, the last thing that happened was a Harden trade.
Harden trade during the class.
Yep.
We just get out of class. I'm walking into the library. Desmond's like, "You see what happened?" That was so funny.
Yeah, no, because I was on. We were both on our way to the same class.
Yeah,
and I texted him on the way there because I for those of you who go to college, to Feinberg Library, I was walking on a little like I guess you call it like
bridge.
alley or bridge, whatever. And it happened. I stood there for like a minute. I'm like, oh my god, this just happened. I immediately text Liam. I text my dad about it. I start walking, and then Liam walks right out of the library. I'm like, dude, check your phone right now.
You show me the tweet.
Yeah.
I start spam calling my friends who's a Broncos fan. It was just that's what I love about sports.
Yeah,
like that's just that's only can happen in sports. It's such a good unifying moment.
Absolutely.
Whatever. Let's talk about the franchise tags. There were a lot of them yesterday.
So I don't know when the deadline is. I think was it yesterday?
Is it yesterday or today?
I think it was yesterday. But here are the franchise players who were given franchise tags that we did not go over. The Bucks tagged Chris Godwin. Makes sense, coming off an injury.
Yeah, it was going to happen.
Yeah. The Jaguars tagging Cam Robinson, which kind of got overshadowed by the whole Russell Wilson trade.
Yeah, that's a really weird move. And that messes with your if Mr. Mock Draft over there, that messes with your mocks a little bit.
Well, not really, because the thing that sucks is a lot of the guys coming into the draft are left tackles, but they're going to have to get shifted over to the right.
Yeah.
Like Evan Neal, if he gets drafted, they're either going to shift him or Cam Robinson to the right, or if he goes to the Giants, him or Andrew Thomas is getting shifted to the right. But, so yeah, it's not a bad move. He's not a bad player by any means. They could be better, but with the way they are in terms of draft picks, I'd rather keep Cam Robinson because you know what you're going to get out of him, and he's still relatively young, and then draft someone on the right side. And then you have, at those two, and Andrew Norwell, you have a very solid offensive line. Moving on, the Packers tagged Devontae Adams. Yeah, I mean, they don't really have any money right now, so I guess that makes sense. Cowboys tagged Dalton Schultz.
I like that one.
Me too. Great move. He's a very underrated weapon for that team. Bengals tagged Jesse Bates. Not a surprise there because he was a top safety in the game last season, and then this season he kind of fell off a bit, but picked it back up in the playoffs. So you kind of want to see if he can repeat that success from a couple of years ago. And then the Dolphins tagging Mike Gesicki. Again, great player. They're probably just going to wait and see if they can iron out a deal.
There's a couple that I love. I like the Schultz one, of course, especially with them, quote-unquote, releasing Cooper, but apparently they're trying to trade him, is what I've
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with him.
I think you can get value for him
absolutely.
somewhere.
You can probably get a second, third-round pick.
That's why I don't like the releasing. Just go and trade him.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But it's, again, the team's going to have to want to take on his money. That's a problem.
I don't know, if I was like the Raiders, which is ironic because he came from there.
I was going to say, yeah.
I was very ironic. I wouldn't mind taking that money. Because you need weapons for Carr.
They're probably going to draft someone because There's no really the receivers in the class. Certainly, they're not bad by any means, but there's not really like a game changing.
Yeah, there's not Devontae
like
Smith or
a
Jalen
Jamar
Waddle.
Chase
Yeah.
or one of
Jalen
those guys.
Waddle.
But with that, we'll move on to the other trade that just happened before the show, and Carson Wentz getting traded to the. I have to try to remember this. The Washington Commanders. The Colts got a 2022 third-round pick, a 2023 third-round pick that could become a second if Carson Wentz plays 70% of snaps, and a 2022 second-round pick, with the Commanders getting Carson Wentz and the Colts 2022 second-round pick. Wow. I don't know what the Colts are doing anymore.
Yeah, that's the most confusing part about this trade.
I'm going to look up very quickly the original Carson Wentz to the Colts trade. Because if I'm not mistaken, I know they gave up at least one first-round pick, but I don't know if they gave up two. So let me just check really quick.
So I guess the part that's confusing, and you and I were trying to figure it out, our general manager minds, I guess. What are they going to do at quarterback?
Yeah. No, they just got one first-round pick. Okay. I don't know what they're going to do. I looked before because I was getting ready for Jacob Eason season.
Yeah.
But they don't even have him anymore. I think Jacob Eason might be on the Seahawks, if I'm not mistaken. I can't fully remember, though. But their quarterbacks right now are Sam Ehlinger and James Morgan, who James Morgan was on the Jets before, I believe. But, yeah, I mean, I would say they can draft someone, but, I mean, they don't have a first-round pick.
Yeah.
They don't have a first-round pick, and their second-round pick is Washington's, which is a trade up from in the second round, but, like...
Which means they're all in on Garoppolo. That's what it must mean.
I wouldn't. Hold on. The Cardinals are releasing Jordan Hicks. That's on Fortnite.
Okay.
He's not anything great.
Yeah, I was about to say. Okay, thanks.
He's good. But
this goes hand in hand with the news we'll talk about next involving quarterbacks, but one quarterback being taken off the market yesterday is very much messing with the scene of quarterback currently.
Yeah.
And actually, two quarterbacks being taken off the market with the Wilson trade. Hot take here, very hot take. I still think the Commanders might pick a quarterback.
I could see
That's
it.
what I would do. I'd honestly pick Pickett. Well, that's hard to get out. I'd pick Pickett and be like, here, Wentz, fight for the starting job. Like,
yeah, but you can't give up those picks though if you're not going to start them. And they have other needs. They need
every position.
They need safety help. If Kyle Hamilton's available, you take him in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
They need to fill a couple gaps on the offensive line. They need
still have Heineke under
linebackers.
contract.
Linebackers they need pretty bad.
And that's the other thing. They still have Heineke under contract. So that's
I don't think he's getting paid that much though.
I would just start.
Not Wentz money.
But I like starting. I like
mil.
starting a quarterback war.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's the thing is like as crazy as it seems, that could be a quarterback battle between.
And I think that's what they're trying to. Well, I mean, come on, it's two mediocre quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I think Taylor Heineke gets too much crap, honestly.
I don't know. He plays
he's bad.
Well. He plays well at times for what he is, but what he is not a starting quarterback.
But he is also doesn't have much.
No, he doesn't.
That's where I give him a little bit of slack, I guess. But whatever, he's just kind of mediocre.
But yeah, I mean, unless Desmond Ridder falls to the second round, which I don't know if he will. Even then, will he fall to you that far in the second round? I don't know, but I'd say if he does, I'd take him because Malik Willis and Pickett are definitely going in the first round. That's what I'm saying, because if those two end up going to the top, we could see a team like the Steelers, who have a late 20s pick, shoot for someone like Desmond Ridder. But I really don't know. I don't know what the Colts are doing. If they're going for Garoppolo, that doesn't make any sense to me because in my opinion, I don't know if I'd honestly rather have Carson Wentz. Especially statistically, it's not like a huge difference. Like I said, it was like 27.
Mediocre quarterback.
It was 27 touchdowns to 7 interceptions from Wentz to 20 touchdowns to 12 interceptions to Garoppolo. But
just a bunch of mediocre quarterbacks. That's the problem.
Basically.
And they both have a good target. Wentz is Taylor and
Michael Pittman.
Yeah, and Garoppolo has
Debo, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle.
Exactly. They both have good target. I don't know what the Colts are doing. That's what makes me so frustrated about this because the Colts are again, probably a quarterback away. And you're going to go after Jimmy Garoppolo? Are you kidding me? The 49ers have such a good lineup, and they couldn't even win with Jimmy Garoppolo.
You know what's funny? You want to hear the Colts Week 1 starting quarterbacks by each year. 2016, Andrew Luck. 2017, Scott Tolzien. 2018, Andrew Luck. 2019, Jacoby Brissett. 2020, Phillip Rivers. 2021, Carson Wentz. And now there's going to be a different one in 2022.
Honestly, Andrew Luck probably be a better option. And he's been retired for
Absolutely
3
he would
seasons.
be. I don't even know what he's doing these days.
Doing stuff for
I know he has like a...
college coverage.
Is
He's on ESPN a couple weeks ago.
I know he has like a degree in like architecture or something like
Really?
that. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Because he could have gone the year before, but he wanted to stay so he could get his degree. That's what I was at least told by my father, and I assume he was right because he was there at the time, obviously.
So next thing we got to move on quickly is the Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, saying that he's committing in Green Bay. The original report was that he signed a 4-year, $200 million deal.
Now they're walking back on it.
But then he came out and said that report was false, which I believe means that he is this year on his contract that he's done. I don't know. All I know right now is if I'm Jordan Love, I'm not a very happy person right now. And if I'm a sports card guy and I invested in Jordan Love his rookie year, I'd be very angry as well because he's yet to legitimately see the field since he's been drafted, and it's been going into his 3rd year now.
Yeah, I'm very curious what the Packers are going to do because now they tagged Devontae and are going to whatever Supermax Rodgers.
Yeah.
How are they going to fix their holes last year?
They don't
like
have
it
the
doesn't
money.
supplement for the fact that their special teams absolutely blew it in the playoffs.
Yeah, but that could be fixed with like low minimum
Drafting.
guys. Yeah. But I mean,
This is what happens when you play for a nonprofit team. I will say it again. This is what happens. You know what I'm saying? Your team has no money to invest in anything, and then you do stupid stuff like this. You're not stupid, but you have holes that you can't patch.
But I mean, even then, Jair Alexander's like a top corner in the game. They drafted him late 20s when he was a rookie. They could draft another star player, even 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. That's what I love about the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs got rid of all their offensive linemen, replaced them with Creed Humphrey, who's already the best center in the NFL, and Trey Smith, who's a very solid rookie.
We'll see what they do. It's going to be like a weird draft for them, which is perfect because this is the weirdest draft class I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of quarterbacks, receivers, stuff like that.
Yeah, in terms of skill positions, it's horrible.
And there's not really any first round running backs either. But in terms of linemen, defensive guys, great draft.
Now build your this is the time to build your weird positions.
Sorry about that. With my water. But
what a weird day. The season next year is going to be completely different than the season.
Absolutely.
It's going to be completely different.
Absolutely.
Who you take? All right, season started tomorrow. Who are you taking for the Super Bowl?
I don't even know.
I'm still saying Chiefs.
Yeah, I'd say probably Chiefs.
Yeah, if the Bills picked a couple defensive players,
they will.
They could be
will.
they could really push the Chiefs over the edge.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, man, I don't know. They're just an interesting team in good ways and bad ways. But with that, we'll move on to our final story in the NFL, which is, I believe, Evan Ingram is out of New York, and I'm a very happy man because he tweeted a picture or a smiling emoji, and then right after that he changed his profile picture, which was of him in a Giants uniform, and took the name and took his bio out, which said New York Giants number 88. And I'm so happy about that. And now I'm seeing that teams want to bring him in as a receiver. Good luck with that. Good luck with his 10 drops in the season. And the games he's cost us, like the Eagles game that he cost us, that would have probably put us in the playoffs 2 years ago, when he almost blew the Seahawks game for us, when he dropped another wide open pass that was intercepted, but we were able to come back and win that. I don't know. I liked Evan Ingram a lot as a rookie. I thought he has a lot of potential. I still think he can be a very good NFL player, but it's just, a good portion of his lack of success is on him, but his play style was not good for the way the Giants played offense last year at all. I think he'd be a good fit with Brian Dable, but we don't even have the cap space to bring him back, and I'd rather not franchise tag him. But with that, move on to baseball for the first time in a while, with the MLB trying to add some interesting things, and they're trying to.
So it's not clear what they're trying to add anymore. It's the most weird news thing ever, because the only type of news they're getting is there's reporters sitting outside of the negotiating room, and that's the only news.
They
Bob Nightingale.
They don't even know. The MLB doesn't even know what they want to do.
They said today if there's no deal by the end of today that they're going to cancel another week of games, which would line up for the middle of April would be opening day.
Yay.
But, big but, they were negotiating until 3 a.m. last night, and apparently they're close, but they've said they're close like 20 times now,
Yeah.
so nothing is clear. We'll see. It's just kind of weird.
But I will say that if they end up banning the shift and making, I don't really care much for the bases being larger. It's kind of dumb and pointless. But like the pitch count or pitch clock, whatever, and the shift ban, that's a joke, man. Like that's Rob Manfred taking like a historic sport and trying to modernize it for literally no reason. There's no reason to try and do this stuff for the sport.
I don't think baseball's. I would say that I could say this 100 times. Nobody's going to listen, but I don't think baseball's problem has ever been the games are too long or the games are too boring.
Yeah.
Like football games are longer than baseball games.
No, the problem is it's one of those sports that's
old-fashioned.
gonna fade. Yeah, it's gonna fade out. It's just one of those.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
like they aren't allowed to celebrate or express themselves in any way.
Yeah,
like it's no fun.
It's not. It's also not advertised very well. You don't
exactly.
You don't see baseball commercials. You don't see them advertising with big companies like the way the NBA does, like the Zach LaVine Mountain Dew commercial that was Zion. The NFL, you see all the commercials like Peyton Manning and stuff like that. Still, like,
and also
MLB doesn't do that.
And it's not really baseball's fault. Their players are just kind of boring. They're awesome to watch.
Mike Trout is like one of the best players of all time. The best player in the game
boring
right now, and he's
like,
very.
No offense to Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge does do commercials, which I respect, but Aaron Judge just kind of boring. Like, and it's not bad. They're really humble guys, and they're absolutely phenomenal to listen to when they interview because they're just so like it's because they watched Derek Jeter. Like that's how Derek Jeter was, and that's who they grew up around.
It's a very humble sport.
Yeah, and like because there's no expression. Like there's no Aaron Rodgers in baseball. Like Aaron Rodgers did absolute miles of work for football this year, advertising wise, whether he realizes it or not. He brought in so many viewers. But they just don't have anyone like that. And, like, when the pitchers aren't allowed to celebrate or the pitchers get mad. Oh, I hate when pitchers get mad. Oh, I hate that.
Like, when the one guy, I think he was on the Dodgers, I can't entirely remember, was, like, making fun of the one guy. I can't remember.
Oh, I know. I think I know what you're talking about. When Madison Bumgarner threw that pitch to Max Muncy. Do you remember this? And he hit that home run. And he's rounding third, and he looked at me and said, if you want that ball, go get it out of the ocean. That one is awesome. Because... And, like, this is the problem with baseball. The pitchers just get mad. And, like, the pitchers will celebrate that they struck 3 guys out in a row. Then someone will come up and hit a bomb off them. And then they get mad. Then they get mad and they start celebrating. Yeah. Like, calm down. You're fine. Like, you just... It just doesn't make any sense. And that's why baseball playoffs are so awesome. Because, like, you got, like... I'm trying to think of, like... It was Jorge Soler? Yeah, you have Jorge Soler hitting a home run into the railroad tracks at Minute Maid Park and just staring at his bench. Like that makes baseball so cool. And you got like I can remember when the Nationals won the World Series. You have Howie Kendrick hitting a go-ahead grand slam against the Dodgers in Game 5, and his team is like jumping up and down. He's like oh, it's just so cool. His team's like jumping up and down in the dugout. He's like screaming as he's running around third. Like that's like that is my mind what makes baseball so great because it's so like it's not like any other sport where like you do something big, you have to run around the bases, and like there's just so much more opportunity for team moments because it's slower. And baseball tries to prevent that, and they're ruining. They're 100% shooting themselves in the foot.
Absolutely.
Sorry to want to rant, but that's just I love baseball so much. Baseball is like probably overall my favorite sport ever, and I watch every year. Not even before this stuff happened, the MLB shoot themselves in the foot over and over and over again because they're trying to please the pitchers, and it doesn't make any sense.
No, I have it right here in my notes, and it's something I truly believe. Rob Manfred is the worst thing to ever happen to any sport league.
He's horrible.
He is one of probably the worst commissioner I've ever seen of any sport. I don't care about Goodell. I don't care about some people who dislike Adam Silver. Rob Manfred is like ruining baseball right now.
If you compare, random side note, if you compare Adam Silver to the other commissioners, Gary Bettman for hockey, which Gary Bettman wasn't horrible until the last 2 seasons. He's been really bad.
Yeah.
Or Goodell and Manfred. Adam Silver is a really good commissioner.
No, Adam Silver is by far the best. Yeah, he has his ups and downs, but like
every
he's
commissioner
by
does.
far the best.
And remember, the commissioner, and this is why I do try to give Rob Manfred the benefit of the doubt, because he works for the owners. Like, the owners don't have to go up to the press conference.
But that's the thing, is working for the owners can also be a bad thing because
It's
the
horrible.
owners are extremely greedy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He does not have a choice. It's kind of like I don't know. I can't really come up with an example. It's kind of like a cashier. You know what I'm saying? Like, the cashier has to say things what the owner's telling them to say. They don't have a choice.
No.
Whether, like, if the customer, I swear Manfred must disagree with the owners, but he's the one who has to go to the press conference at the end of the day and speak for the owners, and that's why he looks like an idiot.
Yeah.
And I do try to blame him because I think he is stupid, but he has to speak for the owners who, if you haven't figured out yet, are absolutely horrible from these negotiations. Oh my God, I just love baseball, and they're literally ruining their, like you said, they're going to fade out if they keep doing stupid stuff like this, because they keep thinking that, oh, the younger generation likes quick sports, whatever. No, it's not that.
No.
Baseball is so unique. You don't have a clock. The problem is that you don't let your players express themselves in any way.
Yeah, like when what's his face? Why can't I think of his name right now? I literally own his jersey. I apologize, but I literally own his jersey. I can't. Oh, Jose Bautista. When Jose Bautista flipped the bat, and like everyone flipped out on him. Like, that should not be something that's looked down upon.
No,
ever.
I agree. And remember how many views like on Twitter?
Yeah.
Like, that's like, once again, I think I've said this before, but Twitter is like the best advertising you could do for your sport. Like, you want stuff that, like, that's what makes the NBA so popular. Is that you got who's that Warriors player who had that Kuminga, who had that sick dunk last night that we were talking about?
Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah, like, if Kuminga throwing down a sick dunk, it's gonna get put everywhere on Twitter, and that Bautista thing got put everywhere on Twitter.
Let's see how many like followers each league has.
Oh, the MLB. While you're figuring that out, the other example I think of is Tatis Jr. hit a grand slam while up like 9, and everyone was mad. And
I remember
and
that.
he had to apologize for breaking an unbroken rule.
Yep.
Like, are you kidding me?
No, yeah, that's a joke.
That's like getting mad at Steph Curry for shooting a 3 when up 20.
Yeah, no, like, stuff like that is just, it's so dumb.
All right, what'd you get?
Hold on, I'm trying. I don't know why I like can't find the NBA right now. I see NBA Canada. I see NBA Draft. Why can't I find the NBA? Okay, here we go. NBA 36.5 million.
Yep.
The NFL 29.2 million.
Yep.
The MLB 9.5
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes complete sense.
That
and if they
is so
just
bad.
told the players, like, hey, Bryce Harper, when you hit that walk-off home run, take your bat and, like, express yourselves. Take your bat and throw it and absolutely chuck it behind you.
Bo Jackson, break it over your knee.
Yeah, exactly. Stare into the other dugout. Like, that's what draws viewers to baseball.
Yeah.
Like, all those fights that are happening, like, I know they're really stupid watching baseball players fight, but that draws viewers in.
Absolutely.
That is what makes people want to watch baseball.
It's like a crash in NASCAR. Like, it's obviously a very bad thing, but like a crash in NASCAR is going to draw more viewers in the race itself.
Like, did you watch it was a couple years ago, but Amir Garrett, a pitcher.
I think I know what you're
it's literally the funniest. Like, if anyone watches John Boy, it's the funniest John Boy video ever. He they were getting ready to fight essentially, and he like had his manager come out, and he looked at his manager. He goes, "I'm gonna fight him," and the manager's like, all right, well, takes the ball from him. Amir Garrett just runs into the other team's dugout and like goes after like 3 different guys. Like, that's what draws viewers in. It's grotesque and it's beautiful. Like, I just love baseball.
All right, but with that, before we run out of time, move on to the NBA for
Quickly.
a little bit, because we have a little segment we're going to do for the last episode before spring break. We'll start off with the Knicks, who have won 2 in a row. With we beat the Clippers and then we beat the Kings. And against the Kings, Julius dropped 46 alongside a 29-point game and 27-point game from R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley, which I was very surprised by, because it's either Julius is going to play great and R.J. is going to play bad, or R.J. is going to play great, Julius is going to play bad. It's always vice versa. So to see them finally both have great games alongside Emmanuel Quickley, who has not been very good this season, as much as I hate to say, is pretty nice to see. And something I kind of reminded me of yesterday is I kind of forgot Domantas Sabonis on the Kings.
Yeah.
And Julius Randle hates Domantas Sabonis for some reason, because every single time he plays them, he ends up dropping 30 plus. Like, I remember against the Pacers last year, he bullied Domantas Sabonis the whole game. And obviously, Domantas isn't the best defender, but it's still pretty funny to think about. With that, move on to some of the games.
Quickly.
Yes. Quickly. Emmanuel Quickly.
Not even quickly fun. I just want to add this quickly. I told you this. I think it's so funny that every time we go after Julius Randle, he goes off.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Every time. But
Sorry.
last night we had Kyrie Irving, who dropped 50 points on 19 shots.
That's so cool.
That's unbelievable. I watched the first half of that game, and I saw he was going off, and very nice to watch, because as much as I cannot stand Kyrie Irving at times, he's still a very fun player to watch. If he obviously he's not going to drop 50 on 19 points every night,
Yeah.
but if he can continue playing this hot and at this even close to that level, that Nets team is going to look a lot scarier.
They just got to punch their ticket. That's all that needs to happen.
Get in the playoffs and coast from there.
Yeah, exactly. Just see what happens from there.
But another note I believe was also last night, Darius Garland ended up dropping 41 points and 13 assists, and he is like a key
Example.
when I think of why you shouldn't give up on a young player, I think of Darius Garland, because when he was a rookie, he was very bad. He was very, 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 very bad. Like I gave up on him. I saw that. I saw him play like that. I was like, I don't think this guy can be anything. And look at him now. He's an all-star. He's playing dropping 41 and 13. But something funny that came out of last night was the Pacers kind of intentionally tanking, because it was a tie game with no shot clock left in the fourth quarter, and the Pacers, tie game, intentionally fouled the Cavs and sent them to the line, and they ended up losing by 3, because obviously you don't intentionally foul in a tie game because you're sending them to the free throw line. But I don't blame the Pacers for tanking.
No,
Obviously,
I don't
they don't
either.
have anything to go for right now. They're
If you're
trying to develop their young
I've said this on the
players.
show definitely before. If you're mediocre, you might as well just tank.
No, I always say it's better to be terrible in the NBA than it is to be mid.
Not even just the NBA.
And the Pacers have been mid for a very long time.
It's every league.
Yeah.
Like if in the NFL, if you're not a playoff team, tank.
Yeah. And another game from last night was Jonathan Kuminga for the Warriors, dropped 21 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. He's been very exciting for the Warriors this season. His stats, like his box score stats, aren't like the most insane, but watching him play is very
electric.
fun. He's a very good athlete, very, very good defensively. He's shown flashes of an improved offensive game. I'm a very big fan of him.
It's like Gary Payton too. Like they're just like like not the most exciting player or not the most exciting statistical wise, but they're absolutely electric on the court.
Them, yeah. The Thunder, I know it's not like purposely going into tank mode, but I find it funny that like they're known for tanking recently, and then all in one day, Ty Jerome, Lou Dort, and Mike Muscala are all announced that they're done for the season. Go tank commander Sam Presti. In other news, is last night both Shea and Giannis had 30 bombs against each other. Shea had 33 points, 8 rebounds, 14 assists. Giannis had 39 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, with Giannis getting the better of Shea, because obviously it's a Thunder, and they are not attempting to win any games right now.
Still a good stat night, though.
Absolutely. I made a post on Twitter about Draymond versus Gobert debate. We'll get into that after these next two little segments here. In my opinion, I believe Jokic should win MVP right now. It's very debatable. It's toss-up.
I don't think it's a toss-up anymore.
Yeah,
He's had like a couple games straight now with 40, right?
Not 40, but triple-double.
Yeah.
So when you consider that they are the 5th or 6th seed right now, no Jamal Murray, no MPJ, and Jokic is consistently, like, he had the 40-point triple-double we talked about last show, and then he comes out against the Warriors, who obviously right now they're not the best defensive team because of the lack of Draymond Green, but to come out, drop 32 points, 15 rebounds, and 13 assists, I mean, he's an otherworldly player. Like, it's actually pretty insane what he does. I mean, it's
so simple.
It may become a toss up because you never know what Giannis or Embiid could do.
Yeah.
But right now, if I created an MVP ladder, I'd probably have Jokic at number 1.
I think he
by
is
a good
number
portion
1.
right now.
I'll
Yeah.
look quickly.
And for the last subject in terms of games, we have the LeBron-less Lakers losing to the Spurs. Westbrook is still very bad, which is, like, I thought, with his own team, put him on the floor out there by himself, he'd be able to not turn into Thunder Westbrook, because that time is obviously past, but I thought he'd be able to do something, but he kind of didn't. He had 17 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, which on paper doesn't look that bad, but he also shot 5 of 14 from the field and had 5 turnovers. Not ideal at all. And in other news, I don't know the next time the Spurs play. I'm going to check right now. But Greg Popovich is 1 win away from having the most amount of wins for a coach in NBA history. And depending on who they play, let's see. They play tonight. They play the Raptors tonight. So and it's in San Antonio. So he could very much get that tonight. It'll be very nice. Obviously, I don't think there are many doubts that Greg Popovich is the greatest coach of all time. Obviously, there are debates like Red Auerbach, but yeah,
Awesome.
very good last couple of days for
Sports, not even just the NBA.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, this is March 4th, the key MVP ladder.
Okay.
1, Jokic.
Yep.
2, Embiid. 3, Giannis.
Giannis.
4, DeRozan. 5, Morant.
yeah.
DeRozan is, I think, sneaking his way past Embiid.
Yeah, I don't know. Him and Ja are both those players. Like, yeah, they should be up there, but they're not winning MVP.
They're
Not
so
this year,
fun
at
to
least.
watch.
Absolutely,
So I love DeMar DeRozan.
absolutely. But with that, I'll get into a little debate I put on our Twitter account,
Sports Report.
which you can.
follow.
It's at Sports Report PLT.
Yeah.
You can still vote. It's a prime Draymond versus Rudy Gobert debate. I've had this with a couple of my friends before. In my honest opinion, it's really not close between him and Gobert, whether you're talking offensively or defensively. If we want to get into offensively quick, okay, Gobert is a better inside scorer, but he's limited to the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond, in his prime, was a near 40% from three shooter, great at getting to the rim, good athlete in his prime, while being a top playmaker in the league, while Gobert is not a very good playmaker. And then you want to talk about defensively, okay, Gobert is one of the better paint defenders of all time, but he's really limited to that. Draymond is on the perimeter. Draymond's in the paint. Draymond's helping out his teammates. Draymond's stopping one of my favorite basketball clips of all time. I can't remember if it was in the playoffs or not, but the Warriors are playing the Trailblazers, and the Blazers had a 3-on-1 break against Draymond Green, and he shut the whole thing down. That's how good of a defender he was in his prime, and that's what made me fall in love with him so much growing up. Was just the effort he had, the motivation he had, the way he'd lock someone up and start just screaming in their face, like something like that. Like, I like seeing stuff like that.
His heart.
Yeah, but I'll check the voting right now just to see.
I'm not the biggest Gobert guy, especially
if
you
you
said.
know me, you know
He's not a very versatile scorer. I mean, yeah, he's good defensively. But
I mean, in his situation, you don't really need to necessarily be a scorer, but in terms of prime, it's obviously Draymond on that end. But right now, there's 10 votes on it, and it's 70-30 in favor of Draymond.
Yeah.
Yes, if you're
Go
listening
vote.
right now.
Go vote if you're listening.
It is at Sports Report PLT. It's a sports report with Liam and Desmond on Twitter. Go follow, go vote. Love the support.
Yep.
But, yeah, I mean, again, it's just you have Draymond in his prime, far better offensive player, far more versatile defensive player, the way better playmaker. And if we're talking rebounding, it's rebounding. Andre Drummond has led the league in rebounding for years and years on end, and he's not even an all-star caliber player, in my opinion. But with that, is it time to move on to our new segment?
Yeah. I found 80 NBA trivia questions on the internet.
Time to test.
Some of them
test
are
my
like
knowledge.
really blatantly obvious, but then
I bet.
others I'm like, okay, I guess that can work from.
All right. Sitting up straight. I'm ready
All
to
right.
go.
I'm just gonna give me a number 1 through 80.
17.
Okay. Who was the all-time NBA leader in assists at the end of the 2001 season?
At the end of the 2001 season?
Yes.
John Stockton.
Yes. I feel like these are the ones that I'm like.
Yeah.
Which player is over 7 feet tall and won championships with both the Lakers and the Miami Heat?
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yep. What country was Rick Fox born in?
Oh. Is it Italy?
Canada.
Canada. Oh.
What city is Dirk from?
I don't know the city, but I know he's from Germany.
It's Würzburg, Germany.
How am I supposed to know that?
Come on. Which player joined the Timberwolves in the 1990s and was the first player in 20 years to get drafted straight from high school?
Kevin Garnett.
Yep, good one. I shouldn't ask you. He's like your favorite player. Who was the first foreign player to be drafted first overall?
Oh, I think I know this.
This is actually a really good question.
Do you know the year by
No,
chance?
no.
You don't know the year. First foreign player
You're not even going to believe what country
to
he's
be
from.
drafted number 1 overall. It's not Hakeem, is it?
No, is it Michael or Mikal Thompson?
Michael Thompson?
Yeah, he's from the Bahamas.
What? I don't. Wow. I knew that he was the number 1 overall pick. I thought he was from. Wow. I didn't know he was
Good
foreign.
question. Which two teams participated in the 2004 Malice at the Palace?
The Pacers and the Pistons.
Yes. What year did the three-point shot get introduced to the NBA?
1979.
That's
1979, 1980. or 78, 79, whatever they call
I
it.
think I know the answer to this one. Which music artist sold his ownership and shared to the Brooklyn Nets or in the Brooklyn Nets in 2013?
Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Also, back to the whole thing in the Malice of the Palace. If you have the time, watch the Malice of the Palace documentary on Netflix. It is so good. So
I love that it's called Malice of the Palace.
Yeah.
Such a good name. Which two players shared the Rookie of the Year honors in 1999 and 2000?
Jason Kidd and Grant. Wait. 1999, 2000?
Yep.
That would be Elton Brand.
Yep.
And 1999, 2000. That would be Elton Brand. And I have no idea who the second one is.
Steve Francis.
I didn't even think about that. Because I know when you said that, the one that first came to my mind was Jason Kidd and Grant Hill. Because I know that they were like the first one to win Co-Rookie of the Year.
Who was the first overall pick in the 1983 NBA draft?
1983?
Yeah.
That is...
Now I'm really putting you to the test.
That is 83. It's not Ralph Sampson, is it?
It is Ralph Sampson.
It is Ralph Sampson.
Great,
okay.
great one. What is the only player in NBA history to have 3 sons in the league?
3 sons in the league. That is Rick Barry.
Yeah. I don't know how you knew that.
Because there's Brent Barry, there's John Barry, and I know there's another Barry, but...
Brent, John, and Drew.
Drew.
Which Argentina NBA star led his country to a gold medal in 2004?
I want to say, is Manu?
No.
No? I couldn't remember. He was
Luis
from Argentina.
Scola.
Oh, Luis Scola?
Yeah.
I can never remember where Manu's from.
Who was the first player in NBA history to play in 1,000 games successfully? 1,000 straight games, excuse me.
1,000 straight
Yes,
games?
excuse me, sorry.
Robert Parrish?
AC Green.
Wow. Because I know Robert Parrish has the most games played, but I always forget how many games AC Green played. He's
NBA
very
champion
underrated.
Kyrie Irving was born in what country?
Australia.
Yeah. I didn't even know he was from Australia.
Yeah. Very surprising.
Dwayne Wade spent most of his career at the Miami Heat. What was the first team he signed with, then he left briefly?
What did you say? Sorry?
Dwayne Wade spent most of his career at the Miami Heat.
Uh-huh.
What is the first team he signed with when he left briefly?
Chicago Bulls.
Yeah. Which player tore his ACL twice but won the MVP award in 2010-2011?
Derrick Rose.
That's rest in peace.
So
I had
sad.
to ask it.
That's such a sad question.
Which NBA player was nicknamed Chocolate Thunder?
Chocolate Thunder,
Yeah.
Daryl Dawkins.
Yep. All right, let's see if I can keep going. All right, here we go. These are a new set of them. Who won Finals MVP in 2002?
In 2002, that
Yeah.
would be the Shaq.
Yep. Which NBA player is known for shot heard around the world in the NBA Finals?
Shot around the world. Jerry West?
Gar Heard?
What?
Yeah.
Because when I think of, I know, I don't think this is the name of it, but I know Jerry West like hit like a full court shot in the finals. So
Really?
I thought that I know who Gar Heard is. I have heard of him. Rest in peace. I
Rest in peace, Gar
I believe
Heard.
he's no longer with us. But yeah, I definitely did not know that. Wow.
I'm just going to ask this to be mean to you. What is the first NBA team to lose 3 straight finals?
First NBA, is it the Knicks?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be. We lost to 3. Who? I know. Obviously, we lost to the Rockets. I don't know. I'm my brain is shot right now. Move on. Next question.
Which team was the first to make it to the NBA Finals 10 straight times?
Celtics.
Yep. What team was the first to sweep the NBA Finals? If anyone actually knew this, like that.
Lakers?
No, it's Celtics, but it's in
I thought it might have been the Celtics,
1959.
I didn't think it would be them back to back.
All right, here we go. These are like player questions.
Okay.
I'm just going to ask all 10, even if they're obvious. Who was the only player in the 1980s to record 15 block shots in a single game?
Oh, it's the guy. It's not Manute Bol, is it?
It is Manute Bol.
It is Manute Bol because
Yeah.
there's another guy who has the most blocks all time in a game, and I thought it might have been him. I can never remember his name though.
Who was the first player to score at least 20 points in 50 straight playoff games?
20 points in
Yeah.
50 in how
50 straight.
50 straight. Kareem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the first high... Oh, we already asked that one. Who was the first player to put up a triple-double average for the entire season?
For the entire season,
Yeah.
Oscar Robertson.
Who was the first NBA player to record 10 steals in a single game?
Oh, 10 steals in a
We
single
were just
game.
talking about it. We were just talking about it.
Were we?
Yes.
Like as a topic? Oh, Draymond.
No,
not
Jerry
Draymond.
West.
Oh, because I couldn't remember when they started doing steals. I know Draymond obviously had the triple-double with steals, and I don't know why I thought he'd be the first one to get 10, but...
What city were the Golden State Warriors initially from?
Philadelphia.
Yep, good one. Who holds the single-game record for assists in an NBA Finals game at 21?
In an NBA Finals game with 21 assists?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even know someone had 21. Stockton?
Magic.
Magic.
Who was the 13th overall pick in the 1996 NBA draft? Come on.
In 96.
Yep.
13th overall pick.
Yep.
Oh, wait, Kobe.
I was about to say,
I always think of 97 for some reason.
Come
with
on.
him. I think that might be wrong. I could have sworn Kobe was 97.
Look it up.
I'm pretty sure Kobe was 97.
It could be wrong. This site does not seem the most reliable.
Here, you can keep asking. I'll look it up quick.
What does it say?
Oh, no, it was 1996. Wow.
What NBA player was nicknamed the Iceman?
George Gervin.
Yeah. What year was the 24-second shot clock introduced?
Is it in the 50s?
Yeah, 54.
I'll say it was in the 50s.
What year did the Miami Heat join the NBA?
19... Was it in the 80s? I believe it was in the 80s. Is it 1984?
88.
88.
What year were the Pistons... what were the Pistons called initially?
They were... I know this.
You got this.
What were they? Were they Fort Wayne, or am I thinking of the Fort Wayne Pistons?
Fort Wayne Zollner Pistons.
Yeah, I knew they were Fort Wayne.
Or I don't know if it's pronounced like that.
Yeah.
Who holds the postseason record for most steals in a single game?
Most steals in a single game in the postseason.
Yeah.
What?
If you don't have a clue, I can give you a hint.
Give me a hint.
You're look down.
Allen Iverson?
Yes.
Oh, look at that.
Which team won the first ever NBA Finals?
That would be the Celtics?
Minneapolis Lakers.
Ah.
All right, who was the first overall pick in the 96 NBA draft?
Allen Iverson.
Yeah. Who won the NBA Coach of the Year award in 1993? I just had to ask it.
I don't know why I'm struggling. Phil Jackson.
Pat Riley.
Pat Riley. That was my second guess.
Who was the first winner of the Most Improved Player of the Year award?
I know this because I do a lot of Sporkle quizzes, and I did everyone to win Most Improved. What year was it? Do you have a year?
No,
by
I don't
chance?
have a year.
No? If I don't have a year, I don't know. Man, I'm not doing as good as I thought I would.
Alvin Robertson.
Right.
You've got a lot of tough ones. Who played every position in an NBA Finals game in his rookie year?
In his rookie year?
Yeah.
Oh, Magic.
Okay, good. Who was the youngest player to reach 10,000 points?
LeBron.
Kobe.
Oh, wow.
Oh, this is in 2003. So it could have been LeBron.
Oh, so wait.
The question was, who was the youngest player to reach 10,000 points in 2003?
No, so it would have been Kobe. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to say, I could have sworn LeBron was he's the first player to, 10,000, 20,000, everything. So it must have been, it must have just been, who set the record in 2003.
All right, I'm going to a different...
LeBron got it.
I'm going to a different website.
But, this is pretty fun. I like doing trivia.
Those were some good questions.
Yeah, the question from the 50s really threw me off, but I mean, yeah, I like doing stuff like this a lot.
Ooh, this is a good one. What was the most famous nickname for Sam Perkins?
For Sam Perkins?
Yeah.
I don't know, the Big Perk?
Big Smooth. Good
know.
question. Good answer, though. This one's easy. He was the first player to score 100 points in a single game.
Oh, probably the only one.
Yeah, the only one. All right. Which member of Michigan's Fab Five spent his first 2 seasons with Denver and eventually made his way to the Pacers?
In Denver and made his way to not Jalen Rose, is it?
It is Jalen Rose.
I completely forgot he played for Denver.
I think I asked you one of the... Oh. Which player almost quit basketball to become a garbage man, then went on to win 3 NBA championships and an MVP? Or MVPs,
So wait, he won 3 NBA championships and 3 MVPs.
Or no, and MVPs. They didn't specify how many numbers.
So it's probably 3. What?
Yeah.
I feel like I definitely know this, but I
knew this because I've heard this story before.
I know this, but
it's someone really famous. It's not like some like Alvin Robertson.
It's Larry?
Yeah, it's
I
Larry.
thought it was Larry because I feel like I've heard something like that, but I didn't know it was a garbage man.
What NBA team sent 4 players to the All-Star game in 2015?
In 2015, the Hawks.
How do you know that?
Because they had Paul Millsap, Al Horford, Kyle Korver, and did Jeff T?
Yeah, it's Jeff T.
Yeah.
Which rookie played an instrumental role in the Houston Rockets title run in 1994?
That's such a weird question. In 1994, what rookie? It's not Kenny the Jet, is it?
No, it's Sam Cassell.
Oh, Sam Cassell.
Cassell.
I forgot he was a rookie then. That's such a weird question. Because it's more like, like official, like a lot of the trivia, like official, like records and stuff like that. It's a weird question. Respectable question.
NBA All-Star Jermaine O'Neal spent most of his career at the Indiana Pacers, but what team drafted him in 96?
Oh, I think I know this. He was drafted. Oh man, in '96 he was drafted by. I have no idea.
Trailblazers.
Right. Oh, right. I forgot he was on the Jailblazers for a while. I forgot about that.
Did I already ask you this one?
What?
Which player was nicknamed the Admiral?
No, but David Robinson.
All right, I'll ask you. I'll try to find one more here. I think you know this. What year was Michael Jordan's signature shoe first released?
92?
84.
84? That early?
The Jordan one's old.
Wow.
What 2 teams played in the 2011 NBA Finals?
The Mavericks and the Heat.
Yep. Which team was the first organization to appear in 2 consecutive NBA Finals?
Lakers?
Yep.
I was going to say, I figured since they won the first that they'd be in the second one.
I'm trying to... Which expansion team was the first to win the NBA Finals?
That would be... Well, because there are a lot of expansion teams. I mean, basically at one point, every team was an expansion team.
Yeah.
Would it be the Heat?
Baltimore Bullets.
I'm gonna say yeah, they're an expansion team, but they've been around since the 70s. That's
what is the
weird
Baltimore
question.
Bullets now?
They were the Wizards, but then once gun violence became a prominent thing, they were asked to change from the Bullets to the Wizards. They were the Bullets up until I believe the 90s.
Gotcha. Which team won the NBA championship in '99?
That would be the Spurs because they beat the 8-seeded Knicks, who are still the only 8 seed to ever make the finals.
Who was the 2008 NBA Finals MVP?
2008. Is it Paul Pierce?
Yes.
Yep.
I think I asked you most of these. Yeah, I think that's all of them.
All right,
most
I'll
of them.
take it.
So that's
I didn't do as good as I thought I'd do, but I'll take it.
those are a couple tough ones. A couple of them were I was reading through it. I'm like, man, those are blatantly obvious. Then a couple, I'm like,
yeah, the 50s ones really threw me
Yeah,
off.
of course.
I should have known who the first most improved was because, like I said, I did a Sporkle one where it was list every most improved player, but it just not having. What really threw me off for these was a lot of them not having the year.
Yeah.
Not having the year
You're a
is what
numbers
really
guy.
threw me off because I whenever I think of the NBA, I think of in this year this and this happened, and this year that and that happened.
I get you.
That's what threw me off. But
So,
I'll take it.
That's about all the time we have. We thank you for listening to the first half of session 2 of the Sports Report. When we return, it'll be not like we said, we have spring break next week. I'm going to Florida. Fun fact.
I'm doing nothing.
Yep, that's how to say it. When we return, it'll be Monday I don't know.
21st, I believe, is here. I can check right now.
We'll get
21st.
Yeah, Monday the 21st is when we return for your sports report. So we look forward to having you then. Hopefully we get a good week of sports content.
Hopefully.
I mean, it doesn't
Should.
beat. Let's say hard to beat those last couple of days.
Yeah, but I think we'll get a good one, especially when things with the NBA draft start ramping up and all that.
Yeah.
Or NFL draft. I don't know why I said NBA.
Yeah, and the NBA starts. I think the draft's 50 days away now from today.
The NBA or NFL?
NFL draft.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's all the time we have. We hope you have not only a blessed evening, but a blessed week. And we look forward to being back on for you guys when we return.
I'm definitely going to miss the show.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see you guys then. Thanks for tuning in.